Alright, hey guys, we're going to start our government unit, and we're going to start first with the distribution of power. If you have not printed off your notes, go ahead and print those off from your Edmodo account. Okay, governments. All countries require governments to function. Governments provide laws, structure, public services, and national defense. There are different types of governments: democracies, republics, monarchies, and dictatorships. Okay, federal system. That's the first type of government we're going to be discussing. In a federal system, power is shared by a powerful central government and the state or local governments. States or provinces are given considerable self-rule, usually through their own legislatures. In a federal form of government, power is divided between a central government and small divisions such as states. A document, such as a constitution, may describe the rights, responsibilities, and duties of the central government and the states. Central government can be powerful, but does not have the ability to dissolve states or choose state leaders. Many countries use this form of distributing power. Some of those are listed here. Make sure you write those in your notes. It's also important to remember that a federal system does not mean that there is more or less personal freedom for the people. It just explains how the power is distributed. Okay, federal government. Power of the central government is separate from state government. Okay, that means the federal constitution laws rule both the central and the state. They're both bound to this constitution. On the map, you can see places in the green have a federal government. If you notice, so the United States has a federal government. Okay, let's review. Pause the video and use your notes to look at these two questions. See if you can answer them to the best of your ability. Okay, let's look at the first question. How does a federal system of government divide power? You should have put something along the lines of between the central government and smaller units such as states. The power is divided in between that central government and also the smaller units. Think about our federal government and then think of our local state government. The second question. What defines the rights, responsibilities, and duties of the central and state governments? Okay, all of these federal governments have a constitution. Okay, the next section we're going to discuss is a unitary system. Find the spot in your notes. In a unitary system, the power is held by one central authority. All power is given to one branch of government. It's important to remember one central authority. In a unitary government, the central government has most of the authority and decision-making power. Local government offices are part of the central government. The central government maintains all power over the local governments. An important thing to remember is unitary governments may not necessarily be less democratic. Okay, this is when ordinary citizens get to vote than other forms of government. It all depends on who is in charge. Okay, whoever that central government is deciding whether citizens get to vote and how much weight their vote carries. Okay, so let's look at this chart. The local governments are not separate, but are smaller parts of the central government. So you see you have the central government here, and the local government is just an extension of the central government, executing the same laws and policies, just at a smaller level. Many countries in the world are ran this way. Make sure in your notes you write down these lists of countries so you know which ones have a unitary government. Pay close attention to the European countries because those are the ones we're discussing in our current European unit. The countries colored in blue are the countries who practice a unitary government. Okay, so let's review. Once again, pause the video and look at these three questions and your notes and see if you can answer these questions regarding a unitary government. Okay, the last form of government we're going to look at is confederation. A confederation is a system in which power is shared by an alliance of independent states or countries. They voluntarily work together for some common purpose and agree to certain limits on their freedom of action. Some countries agree that they will be better able to solve problems or provide help if they work together. They might sign a treaty or constitution under which the countries agree to defend each other, trade with each other, use a common currency, or any other thing they may need. Membership is usually voluntary, and a country can decide to leave at any time. A confederation is not commonly found among governments in the 21st century because there are several problems that go along with this system. Look at the problems I have listed below. Write these problems in your notes. I also want you to write down why you think these problems would cause issues with having a confederation in the 21st century. Remember, confederations generally have a weak central government. Let's review a confederation. Pause the video and look at these two questions to see if you can find the answers. Number 1. What is one problem with confederation government? Okay, you could have listed any of the problems that we mentioned earlier. I took some of those problems we listed and put together my own answer that said the central government can create laws but might not be able to enforce them. Number 2, in a confederation government, power lies with the governments of the member countries or states that have joined the confederation. Okay, look at the picture on this slide. After watching the presentation and taking your notes, see if you can understand how each government explains the distribution of power.